Learn English through story. A whisper of lust. In the quaint town of Eldridge, nestled between rolling hills and thick forests, life moved at a steady, unhurried pace. The streets were lined with charming brick houses adorned with blooming flower boxes, and the townsfolk greeted each other with nods and warm smiles. Yet beneath this serene exterior lay a current of unspoken desires and buried secrets, waiting for the right moment to surface. At the heart of Eldridge was an old, ivy-covered library run by a middle-aged woman named Eleanor. She was well respected in the community, known for her wisdom and love of literature. A dedicated librarian, Eleanor spent her days cataloging books and helping patrons discover new worlds through words. Yet, despite her outwardly content life, a whisper of restlessness stirred within her. Eleanor had been married to Arthur for over 20 years. He was a kind man, gentle and dependable, but their relationship had settled into a comfortable routine that often felt more like companionship than romance. As the years wore on, Eleanor found herself yearning for something more, yet an excitement that had long since faded. One rainy afternoon, as Eleanor was organizing a shelf of novels, a new patron walked into the library. His name was Samuel, a dashing man in his early 40s with tousled hair and an infectious smile. He was a traveling artist, seeking inspiration for his next masterpiece. From the moment he stepped through the door, Eleanor felt a flicker of something she hadn't experienced in years: attraction. Samuel was charming, with a quick wit and a deep appreciation for art and literature. He would come to the library daily, engaging Eleanor in conversations that stirred her senses and awakened dormant feelings. Their exchanges began innocently, but as days turned into weeks, an unspoken tension developed between them. Eleanor found herself looking forward to Samuel's visits, the anticipation sending a thrill through her. She would wear her favorite dress, the one that hugged her figure just right, and do her hair up nicely, hoping to catch his eye. Samuel would compliment her, his gaze lingering just a moment too long, igniting a fire within her that she thought had long been extinguished. One afternoon, while discussing the intricacies of a classic novel, their hands brushed against each other. A jolt of electricity surged through Eleanor, and she met Samuel's gaze. In that moment, she felt how lively and desirable. The connection between them deepened, and soon, they began to share personal stories. Eleanor confided in Samuel about her feelings of stagnation in her marriage, her dreams of travel, and her love for art. Samuel listened intently, his eyes filled with understanding. "You deserve to feel passion, Eleanor," he said softly. "Life is too short to deny yourself happiness." His words echoed in her mind long after their conversation ended. That night, Eleanor lay awake, contemplating the choices she had made. Did she dare to entertain the idea of pursuing a connection with Samuel? The very thought sent shivers down her spine. As the days passed, the tension between Eleanor and Samuel grew palpable. They exchanged lingering glances and soft touches, their conversations tinged with an underlying flirtation. Eleanor found herself fantasizing about him, his laughter, his artistic mind, the way his presence made her feel like a young woman again. Then came the day that would change everything. Samuel invited Eleanor to an art exhibit in a nearby town. Her heart raced at the thought of spending an evening with him, surrounded by beauty and creativity. Eleanor hesitated, torn between her sense of duty to Arthur and her yearning for a glimpse of the passionate life she had longed for. But the whisper of lust beckoned her, promising excitement and adventure. That evening, Eleanor donned a beautiful red dress that accentuated her curves, a choice that made her feel bold and alive. When Samuel arrived to pick her up, his eyes widened in admiration, igniting a spark of desire that sent butterflies fluttering in her stomach. The art exhibit was mesmerizing, filled with vivid colors and evocative pieces that spoke to Eleanor's soul. They wandered through the gallery, admiring the artworks and sharing thoughts and laughter. As the evening progressed, Eleanor felt herself falling deeper under Samuel's spell. After the exhibit, they walked along the riverbank, the moon casting a silver glow on the water. Samuel turned to her, his expression serious. "Eleanor, I've never met anyone like you. You bring out a part of me I thought was lost." Her heart raced as he took her hand, their fingers entwining. The air was charged with unspoken desires, and Eleanor felt a rush of excitement and fear. "Samuel, this is all so new to me," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "Embrace it," he urged gently. "You deserve to explore these feelings, to discover who you are beyond the confines of your routine." His words resonated deep within her, and in that moment, she felt a shift. The whispers of lust grew louder, drowning out her fears. They shared a passionate kiss, igniting a fire that consumed them both. It was as if years of longing and unfulfilled desires exploded in that instant. But as reality set in, Eleanor pulled away, panic washing over her. "What am I doing?" she gasped. "I can't betray Arthur. This is wrong." Samuel's expression softened. "You're not betraying him, you're discovering yourself." "There's nothing wrong with wanting more from life." Eleanor's heart raced as she grappled with her emotions. She was torn between her loyalty to Arthur and the exhilarating rush of her newfound desires. "I need time to think," she murmured, her voice trembling. The next day, Eleanor returned to her routine, but her mind was filled with thoughts of Samuel. Every glance from her husband felt suffocating, every conversation felt trivial. The whispers of lust had transformed into a roar, urging her to make a choice. Days turned into weeks, and Samuel continued to pursue her, inviting her to art shows and coffee dates. Each encounter deepened their connection, and Eleanor felt herself falling for him in ways she had never imagined. But guilt tugged at her conscience, reminding her of her commitment to Arthur. One evening, Eleanor sat across from Arthur at the dinner table, their conversation stilted and awkward. As he spoke about his day, she found herself distracted, thinking about Samuel's laughter, his passion, and the way he made her feel alive. "Eleanor, are you okay?" Arthur asked, concern etched on his face. "Yes, I'm fine," she replied, forcing a smile, but inside, turmoil raged. She could no longer deny that she wanted more than a mundane life, more than a passionless marriage. Unable to bear the weight of her secret any longer, Eleanor met Samuel one final time. They sat in a quiet corner of the library, surrounded by the comforting scent of books and knowledge. "I can't keep doing this," she said, tears brimming in her eyes. "I care for you deeply, but I can't betray my husband." Samuel reached for her hand, his expression tender. "You deserve to pursue your happiness, Eleanor. Don't let fear dictate your life." "I'm scared," she admitted, her voice trembling. "Scared of hurting Arthur. Scared of what this means for us." "Follow your heart," he urged. "You have to be true to yourself." Eleanor's heart raced as she weighed her options. She could feel the whispers of lust urging her to embrace this new path, but the thought of hurting Arthur filled her with dread. In a moment of clarity, she made a decision. "I need to take some time for myself," she said, her voice steady. "I need to figure out what I truly want." Samuel nodded, understanding washing over him. "I'll be here when you're ready, Eleanor. Just know that you are worth the journey." With that, Eleanor left the library, her heart heavy yet relieved. She had chosen to confront her desires, to seek clarity rather than succumb to the chaos of her emotions. Over the next few weeks, Eleanor focused on herself, Delving into her interests and passions, she began painting again, pouring her feelings onto the canvas, and rediscovering the joy of creation. She spent time in nature, exploring the woods surrounding Eldridge, and began writing her own story-esque narratives that spoke of love, longing, and self-discovery. During this time, she reflected on her marriage and the love she shared with Arthur. While their connection had dulled, she recognized the kindness and stability he offered. She began to engage with him more, initiating deeper conversations and sharing her dreams and aspirations. Slowly, the spark in their relationship reignited. They began to find joy in small moments of cooking together, going for long walks, and even visiting art galleries. As they explored each other's worlds, Eleanor found that she could embrace both her desires and her commitment. Eventually, she reached out to Samuel, inviting him to the library for a final meeting. They sat together, both aware that the time had come to part ways. "Eleanor," he said softly, "I've missed you. How have you been?" "I've been on a journey of self-discovery," she replied, a smile playing on her lips. "And it's been enlightening." "I'm glad to hear that," he said, his eyes searching hers. "You deserve happiness." "I realized that I needed to focus on what I already have," she confessed. "Arthur has been my rock, and while I explored my feelings for you, I recognize the value of our relationship." Samuel's expression was bittersweet. "I understand. It takes courage to confront one's desires." They shared a moment of silence, both feeling the weight of their connection but knowing it was time to let go. "Thank you, Samuel," Eleanor said, her voice filled with gratitude, "for helping me find myself." With a final embrace, they parted ways, leaving behind the whispers of lust and embracing the wisdom that comes with self-awareness. Eleanor returned to her life in Eldridge, but this time, she did so with a renewed sense of purpose. She had chosen to confront her desires, and in doing so, had found a deeper connection with both herself and her husband. As she walked through the town, the sun setting behind the hills, Eleanor realized that passion wasn't just about a fleeting romance. It was about nurturing the relationships that mattered, embracing the complexity of life, and finding beauty in the everyday. And with that understanding, the whisper of lust transformed into a deeper, more fulfilling love. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.